All right, everybody, welcome back, and we are going to take a look at a few more free agent centers. This is obviously the least exciting part of it, but it's also a part that the Seahawks may very well tap into because at the end of the day, they have limited resources this offseason, and they're not going to be able to spend a ton on every single need. So I'm looking at the center position and I'm saying, yeah, you could go out and spend big money on one of the top free agents. You could spend a top draft pick on JPJ or whatever top center you end up falling in love with in this draft, like Cedric Van Pran. But on the other side of that scale, there's another option here where the Seahawks could go. Um, yeah, we're just gonna trust Oluwatimi takes a big step forward. He's our starter, and then we're just gonna go get some backup for him. And that backup could be someone completely anonymous, completely unaccomplished, and somebody who's just kind of a competent warm body, a veteran. It could be somebody who we draft late in day 3 of the draft. It could be a UDFA, but we don't have the resources to spend big at the center position, so we're just going to pray that Oluwatimi works out and maybe go get him a veteran backup. So if that's the path we decide to take, here are some options that are available, some of the ones that stand out to me. And nobody in this group really stands out, but this is the crop of guys that I would look at to try to find a guy who is either still a scheme fit or is a scheme fit. Because some of these guys are older, and the older guys tend to lose their athleticism, and that could move away from what we need our center to be able to do. So, Oluwatimi's your starter, and you're trying to go super cheap on his backup. Here are the options as I see it. First guy would be the quintessential center backup, Scott Kessenberry, who did not play a single snap last year for the Houston Texans. 2022 was like a war crime on PFF. I mean, this is next level stuff right here. Played the whole season, good for him, pretty much, but bad. And you peel it back, a little bit better in 2021, I guess. He only played 115 snaps, though, barely played and didn't play any center in 2020. You go back to 2019. Who even cares now? It's too long ago. About to turn 29. And, yeah, this guy's like the quintessential backup where you just need a guy. You just need a guy there to say, we have him. Like, you're filling out your roster and you're like, oh, we need a backup center, but I don't actually care about the backup center. Let's go get Scott Kessenberry. That's kind of what he is at this point, I think. Hopefully he's not watching this video. But kind of hoping we can do a little bit better than this if we're going to put our faith in a rookie. Or, well, he's a second-year player now, but a guy who is basically a rookie because of how little he played last year. Next guy would be Tristan Colin Castillo. Interesting name there. He was an Arizona Cardinal. He's bounced around the league a little bit already. Last year, he played mostly at left guard and played kind of sort of okay overall. 2022, played mostly at right guard and barely played. Got to go back to 2021 to find a season where he played mostly at center. And again, he played kind of sort of okay. Nothing too stand out here, nothing too over the top. Yeah, excuse me. But in 2020, he played fairly decently at center, pretty good, I'd say. So I'm looking at something like this and I'm going, why does he keep getting batted around? It seems like wherever he lands, he seems like he plays kind of sort of okay. It's just not quite good enough to latch on. So if you're looking for somebody to just sit on the bench and hopefully never actually have to get into the game for a meaningful moment for you, maybe Tristan Colin Castillo is your guy. Again, I don't know what separates him from any of these other players here, except for the fact that he's young. He's only going to be 26, so his prime could still be coming. And he's not a very big... He's not on the bigger side as far as centers go. So I do feel like he could still be a decent scheme fit, but obviously there wouldn't be a lot of trust there if you ended up having to play him. Next guy, let's go with Pat Elflein. I think I pronounced that right. Another recent member of the Cardinals. He did not play at all this most recent season. Also, his picture on PFF makes him look like he weighs about 215 pounds. He doesn't, but he looks very small. You go back to 2022, he did play a decent amount and played semi-passably workable football. You go back to the previous season, he played mostly at center and played not very good. So he's a backup. He's a backup in this league, and that's really all there is to say. He does offer a little bit of guard versatility, but it's not really good guard versatility. But there is a place in the world for players like Pat Elflein, and if the Seahawks decide to bring him on for 1 year to be a veteran presence behind Oluwatimi, I think that's reasonable. It's not exactly investing. It's not exactly making a smart investment into your offensive line, but I understand they may not be able to. It may not be in the cards. They're going to have limited money, limited resources. They got to just spend what they have, address what they can, and where they can't take care of everything right now, they can't fix everything, they're going to just have to settle for some guys like Pat Elflein. So I get it. Again, I just want to stress what we're talking about here. We are talking about backup caliber players. Next guy, this is a little bit of a hometown pick. This is a guy that some people would welcome back very fondly. It's Nick Harris from the Cleveland Browns. So, Nick Harris, former Washington Husky, 5th round pick, went to the Browns. Very much on the light side, very much a sub 300 center. I believe he still is. Also, generally just kind of small. So, I mean, his movement skills, his ability to move in space is going to fit right in, I think, with this offense, admittedly, but it might be pushing it a little too much. Played a little bit this year for the Browns, played okay, but he's flanked by really good guards on that Cleveland offensive line. Didn't play at all in 2022, 2021 played a little bit. The year before that played at right guard and wasn't nearly as good, so he's a center. Nick Harris is a center, not a great one, not even really one you want to bring in to start, but one that you can bring in to be behind Oluwatimi, and you can probably give him just $1.5 million, maybe $2 million at most. I don't think anybody in this video would cost much more than that, and say, okay, you're the backup, and if Oluwatimi goes to pieces or gets hurt, then we're going to say our prayers and send you out there. And final guy in this video, this is an older guy. This is a guy you pull in hoping he has one more decent year left. And the good news is he would be a backup at this point because he's so old and hasn't been effective lately. It's Tyler Larsen of the Washington Commanders, coming off a year where he was relatively bad across almost 500 snaps. No penalties, though. Good for him. The year before that, he was semi-passable at center. The year before that, he was pretty decent. So it's been a decline for him because he's getting older. He's going to be 33 by the time the season starts. I don't think he's a scheme fit anymore anyway, but he's going to be super cheap. And again, that might just be the best you can do. So he's a veteran guy to push Oluwatimi and sit behind him. It's not beyond the pale to suggest, I don't think. I would really like to do better than most of these guys. Of the 5 guys I looked at in this video, Nick Harris is probably the most appealing because he's young and a little more agile. But, I mean, none of these guys are really going to be a fit for anything we want to do on the field. They're a fit to sit on the bench. And that's kind of the problem with the whole concept. However, again, it's possible. It's possible that's the best we can do. It's possible that the best we can do is bringing back Evan Brown to be Oluwatimi's backup. Something like that. And if that's the case, then so be it. I can live with it. Rome is not going to be built in a day. This offensive line is not going to be completely fixed in one off season. So these are some backup options behind Oluwatimi. And I don't think the other scenario of like us signing a big free agent or drafting a big rookie center and then getting a veteran backup makes any sense, because in that case, Oluwatimi would be the backup. All right. See you guys later. Go Hawks. More videos coming later, probably. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow.